Hi everyone, Mr. Marsh out on the West Coast. Welcome back to the workshop and part 3 and surely the final part of this bushcraft knife I'm building for a very good friend of mine. So hi Chris, Judy, Naomi, Louise, Barney, Joe, Josh, how you all doing? Chris, it was great to see those images of the lush countryside in England, summer's days and all those things I have fond memories of. Who knows, sometime in the near future perhaps we can enjoy all those together again one day. But to the job at hand, it's about time I glued the handle scales on this blade and started shaping it. So let's get on with that. I've decided that after preparing the handle scales, I'm actually going to sharpen it before I put the scales on. I feel I have a bit more control over it. It's easier to put into the jig, and you don't run any risk of damaging this when you do that. So that's what I'm going to do. Wow, this is so hard, this burl. We've seen what I've been through. I've been through rough paper, I've been through filing, and I've tried different methods of sanding and filing, but I'm up to 600. I've buffed it a little because I want to see where the flaws are, and buffing it will do that for you. So here I've got 800, 1000, 1200, 1500 and 2000. So I'm going to work my way up through these papers and see what result I can get. So guys, with the knife finished and wrapped up for protection, it's time I made the sheath. I am no great leather worker, so I'm not going to film too much of this. I'm just going to keep it fairly simple, but basically I have designed this on the computer. It's a little oversized, and I think it's a little bit more interesting just the straight sides on it, like something like this one. That's too small. So I'm just going to trace over these lines onto the leather just with a pen. Morning everyone, it's Sunday morning here in Perth in WA and it's a nice cool morning. I've got a cup of coffee on the go. I've finished this knife for a very good friend of mine over there in England. Hi Chris. As soon as I've done here, I'm going to get this packaged up and get it on the road for you. I just wanted to go through a few stats. So the blade steel is 1084 carbon steel, normalised twice. It's been heat treated to 800 degrees. Quenched in a specially formulated oil called K-Quench. It's similar to Parks 50 for those that are familiar with that, and it's tempered twice at 180 degrees C for 1 hour each. The design, as you can see, is full tang drop point with a sharpening choil, and the bevel is ground as a sabre grind. And it's sharpened up to 1000 grit with a diamond stone. The handle material is Vasticola Burl, which is an Australian eucalypt with 10mm mosaic pins. Actually they're more like 9.5, not quite 10mm, with a hole going right the way through. As you can see here, the sheath, this one has got a little bit of a different design on there. It's got this double scalloped edge here, which I think is a lot better than the straight edge, and as you can see, I've got the edge sanded and buffed to a shine. It's a simple design, but it's one I like. Now I've got my logo stamped in there, and the reason I've got 3 in there is because there are 3 of us old mates that still keep in touch, and I thought there's one for each of us just for a bit of fun. So what do I think about this knife, and what about the build? Well, this build is not perfect. There are flaws in it, but I must say that it's one of the most flawless knives I've built. If you really look close, there are certain things that aren't quite right with it. I'll point out 1 or 2 of them and leave it at that. Right here near the choil, and I won't give you too much of a close-up, I don't want it to look too ugly, but I didn't quite finish the bevel right up towards the plunge line there, and I only noticed it quite a long way down the track, and I'd already finished this twice because I had some scratches on there that as you will have seen in this episode, so I wasn't going to touch it anymore. I just thought better leave it alone. I also got some very, very fine hairline scratches in there that you might not be able to pick up right here, but they are there, and I think that's just some of my rags getting contaminated with some abrasive grit or something like that, or even bits of swarf, bits of steel or something like that. But apart from that, I'm very, very pleased with how this turned out. The handle material, this Vasticola Burl, is incredibly hard, and well, I kept working it, and I initially was trying to get this sort of Coke bottle, what they call Coke bottle finish, where it's shaped this way and it's shaped this way as well on the width here, and I did that to some degree. It wasn't quite what I had in mind, but yeah, it's a very good build. I'm very happy with it. Alright, so let's test its cutting ability. Well, I would say that's fairly successful. Pretty damn sharp. So, there you have it. One knife build for a very good friend of mine. Hope you enjoy it, Chris. And one last thing before I go, we'll make a knife build in 3 parts, a knife like this. It's a very long build, but seeing as it's for a friend of mine, I wanted to document all of it, and I thought he might enjoy that. So for those of you who don't enjoy these 2-3 part long builds, I'm going to make a short version, and it's just going to be a very brief, probably a 10-minute video of this whole build. So that will be coming up very shortly over the next couple of days. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.